you got to be a little delusional at first, especially when you have no evidence to yourself that you're ever going to get the results. But then once you actually get a little bit of lick of success, those small successes build up and they give you the confidence that you need to move forward. Guys, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jared Nguyen. I'm the founder and director of Geometry Gurus SAT Prep. I'm located in right now San Diego, California, but I'm actually originally from the Bay Area, California, San Jose. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I've been with the Teacher Project now since February of 2020. Yeah, so about a year and 3 months now. So yeah, I had my 1 year anniversary of the business was April 1st, 2025. So it's been a ride so far.
I love that, man. Just seeing the amount of excitement that was on your face a year ago when I interviewed you then, you had brought in your first 6 students, had generated $3,400. At that point in time, man, were you still in this like, what is happening? Because like before then, before you joined in with us, you were only generating maybe like less than $1,000 a month at that point, right?
Yeah. So that, it's still surreal because like it's already been a year since that. And like you can see how I look like in that video. I look tired. It's tough. I'm not feeling the best, because I'm just knee deep in all this work. So yeah, I'm in a much different mental space than I was a year ago. But yeah, I still feel the same things that I felt in that video as well. Like you still feel like, when you said like, oh, is this still real? Like I still feel like that right now, right? In the
Yeah.
everydays of running this business.
I love it. I love it. Being able to see your face in that photo, man, and realize that this is the exact same moment that we're gonna have 12 months from now,
Yeah.
right? When I think about this, you're gonna look back and be like, oh my gosh, look at where I was then. And actually, one of our coaches just talked about this idea of the gap and the gain, right? Where it's like the gap is, I wish I was here. But sometimes we have to reflect back and realize the gain. How much have we progressed moving forward, man? When you see those two outcomes of, hey, I made my first 3,400 and now I've made my first 140K in the first 5 months of the year, like what's going through your head? What can you share with everybody just in regards to like this jump that you made? And then we'll dig into some of the details.
You know, in terms of what, there's so many things directions I can go with this, right? So what specifically do you feel like would be the most valuable in terms of that? And then we can tackle that.
Yeah, I would say from a mindset perspective, right? This idea of belief. Because I
Mm,
think from that photo that we just looked at, going from $1,000 to making, hey, 4, 5, 6 sales, you made your first 3,400, all of a sudden a light bulb went off in your head saying, dude, I can do this, right? There's no reason I can't earn 10K per month. Now you're earning what? 15 to 20 to 25K a month on average, dude. What's that have to say just in regards to like belief and how much it plays into this whole idea of running your business?
yeah, so you're not gonna one thing that I learned on this journey here is like, yeah, you got to be a little delusional at first, especially when you have no evidence to yourself that you're ever gonna get the results. Like I had no evidence to say, oh, I can run an SAT coaching business, right? I had no evidence, so I had to be a little bit delusional in that sense, right? But then once you actually get a little bit of lick of success, those small successes build up and they give you the confidence that you need to move forward. That was the biggest thing with, the first 6 months of my business was just like building that evidence and building that confidence that we can be successful in this business. That was huge for me. But now that, I've had months where, I've had, when I had my first 30K month, when I had my first 10K month, I was just like, holy crap, right? I can actually do this.
Yeah.
And I am assuming that, or I know that within the next like year, 2 years, 3 years, right? As long as I continue running this business, I'm gonna keep surprising myself and keep giving myself that evidence that I can be successful in this process.
Yeah. I love that. Guys, to everybody watching, right? We got 30, 45 people on here now. It really does come down to your ability to say, you know what? It's not about me saying I can't. It's about me saying I can, right?
Mhm.
And looking at Jared, what he just said was, hey, if I can earn 5K, I can earn 10K. If I can earn 10K, I can do 15. If 15 comes out, I'm going to learn some new skills. I'm going to be able to push 20. And I think, Jared, your max was like really close to 40K, right? Like you
Yeah.
kind of broke some barriers there moving forward. And I'm really curious, like if you rewind time a little bit, right? Would you say that belief starts right from the beginning? Because there's folks in here that aren't running their business right now. Like belief in getting like that first ad launched and finding that first lead. Would you say that that's kind of a very similar thing that you have to like push yourself through to get that first one, to give yourself the confidence to get to the next one and then one after that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, the first time was like you got to be a little delusional at first, right? With no evidence saying that you can be successful, but it's the snowball effect, right? Because I still do this today, right? It's like, okay, if I can get one lead, I can get two leads. If I can get two
Mhm.
leads, I can get five. If I get five leads, I can get one conversation. If I can get 10 conversations, I can get one sale. It's numbers for a little bit, but also like you gotta like put the inputs to get the outputs. And the more that you get, more inputs that you put in, the more confidence you get. Because if I didn't truly believe that I can make a sale from, X amount of leads, X amount of conversations, then like why would I do it? So that's why it's important to, in your head is like it's not like, oh, you can't do it. It's like you got to believe that like you can do it. But I know that sounds corny, but it's legitimately true. Even if you feel like it's a lie to yourself, sooner or later, you'll start to visualize and you'll start to think the things that you actually say. So even if you don't believe it right off the bat, you say it enough to the point where it comes true, and then becomes true more enough, and it just becomes fact. That's what I've been
Absolutely.
seeing so far.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it any better because I always say within our community, right? Belief shifts to action. If you don't believe something, you ain't going to take no action, right? And if you
Mhm.
actually take action, it's going to create opportunity. You got opportunity that can lead to abundance, man. And that's exactly what we've been able to see you work through because you've just worked and you've grinded and you've pushed. And so I know everybody on here is probably really, really curious that when you first came into the teacher project, right? We talked about marketing and getting leads. Like, was that the main thing that you were feeling the bottleneck with in regards to like lead generation and being able to kind of move forward on sales? Was that the main thing, or were there other things that you were really trying to
Oh
kind of
yeah,
get?
100%. You at that point you I had no idea what I didn't know, and it's always great to talk about, like listen, it's great to talk about how like mindset can help and stuff like that. But if you don't even know what step one is, then forget about mindset because you're not going to get anywhere. So for me and then with the teacher project, it's figuring out what I don't know. And having the putting the ego aside to be like, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that.
Yeah,
That was the biggest step for me. And then once you understand constraint number one, the kinks in the hose, where it's like, you can't let the water flow until you get rid of some of the kinks, right? You get rid of kink number one, and then you just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And that was kind of what my
absolutely.
experience was like, especially in the first 6 months when I was with, students on demand before getting into impact. That was the biggest thing, right? Because everyone thinks that they can just jump right into the pool, right? When they don't even know how to swim yet. So
Yep.
they got to teach me how to swim first. That was my biggest thing with them.
Absolutely. I love the analogy that you laid out, Jared, just the kink in the hose, right? If we think about that hose and the water flowing through it, we might be great educators. We might be great tutors, right? I'm looking at Justina. I'm looking at Beth. You guys might be great educators, but sometimes we rely on those referrals and it might be feast or famine, right? We got to be able to go ahead and figure out how do we create that student acquisition engine or system that you don't have to just like hope and pray that students are coming, but you're able to go ahead and set this up. And basically, lead generation is the first thing, making sure you're nurturing those leads and getting those sales coming in. And then how do I fulfill on that journey? If you guys are tracking with us so far, guys, drop a one in the chat because so many people just want to bank on the fact that they're a great educator to get their business up and running. But I'm telling you, you figure out these business milestones, right? How do I market and get my voice out there? How do I go ahead and build connection in sales? How do I deliver next level programs? Guys, that's what Jared has done here. And you can see the results, right? And I'm just telling you, Jared started at the bottom, at zero. He didn't come in making 100 grand right away. Every single one of you guys can do the exact same thing. So I'm seeing a lot of ones in here, Jared. I'm seeing a lot of congratulations. If you had to give these guys one piece of advice around marketing, like getting their ads up, what was one thing that really stuck out to you that was kind of a game changer in your thinking? Kind of help take you to the
There's two things that I can really say to that. Number one is, you are not in the education business. The sooner that I figured this out very late in the game, right? And that's kind of when that moment kind of fixed itself. You're not in the education business, you are in the presentation business. You're in the sales
Mm.
presentation business. That is what you're in, guys. No one buys from you because you're a great educator. You know how many times you probably sit there and then you're like, man, I know that I can get better results than that guy. But he
Yep.
makes so much more money than me, or he has so many more students than me, even though I know I'm a better educator than that guy, is because you're not in the education business. It's based upon your sales and presentations business.
Yep.
Because people buy not from people. Forget about results. Okay, I honestly, I was making, I hit my first 20K month before I even had any testimonials on my website, right? And that's because people buy from people who, number one, they trust and they know and they like. If they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, they won't buy. I don't care how good you are. Because here's the reason why. You know how many ads and you know how many people they see on Facebook every single day? I didn't realize this until I was looking into, I was trying to like get into, I was looking at other people's ads, right? Trying to just say what exactly, just to see where exactly works. It's like I see dozens of ads every single day to, whether it's another SAT tutor, whether or not it's another like marketing, something like the teacher project maybe, right? It's like if I don't like, I don't care how good those testimonials are. I don't care how good their stuff is. If I don't know them, if I don't like them, if I don't trust them, then I'm not gonna buy from you. And that's how every parent thinks of, right? So how like a lot of people they don't realize that how many conversations you having with the people that you actually want to sell to, right? How many conversations are you legitimately having? How many times are you actually giving them real value instead of just like, hey, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, right? I learned this from Laurel Portier, in which the value that you give needs to be 10x to what, and Hormozy says this a lot, 10x to what you're asking for. So every 10 times or every one time that I'm saying, hey, buy from me, I'm 10 times before that I'm giving you just pure value, right? Because people again will buy from you if they know you, like you, and trust you. And even if they don't buy from you, they'll refer someone who can actually benefit from you. So a lot of people, I think in their marketing and sales games, there's so much like, oh, take, 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 instead of give, 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 give. The law of abundance, right? It states that the more you put out, the more you get back in. So that is one thing that really changed me. That's how I went from, my first 10K month to my first like 30, 40K months, or nearly 40K month, right? And then, getting back to 30K months during this year so far. That was the
Hmm.
biggest thing. And that's why I also say it because I like to remind myself that as well. It's like, if I
Yep.
ever wonder, it's like, oh, why am I doing so much value content? Why am I giving away so much crap for free? Is because
Yep.
it's karmic. You give out, you get back. So that's the biggest thing I can say from a marketing standpoint,
Oh,
100%.
I love that, man. And guys, I hope you got 52 people on here. I hope you guys were writing that down and could actually see the conviction and the confidence coming out of Jared in that moment. Because I am telling you, he is so right. It is not about how good of an instructor you are. It is about the perception of what you can go ahead in regards to your marketing and get your voice out there telling people, hey, I understand you better than you understand yourself. I understand the problem. And if I can understand the problem, I can understand the solution as well. And Jared nailed it. People buy from people they know, they like, and they trust. And how do they know you? Because you are out there and you are getting your voice out there on a regular basis. And guess what? The more you do it, the more confident and equipped and grounded you will be about making those statements and saying, hey, you got a problem? I got a solution to go ahead and do that. And I think it's really interesting, Jared. Samuel dropped a chat question here. He said, hey, Jared, what's your website? Would you say that your website is the thing that's selling all of these programs? Or is it you taking the initiative to get your voice out there and actually put yourself in front of people's eyeballs? What do you think?
Oh no, 100. I'm gonna be real with you. You want to know that website? I made it last week, so you can look at it if you want. I have never sent people to a website, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the times, the parents that are asking for websites anyway, they're not the people you want to sell to. Let's be honest, okay? Because at that point, they're either one, window shopping, or two, they're treating you like a commodity. Right? It's like you're trying to just compare price, treating you like commodity. I'm not a commodity. You guys shouldn't be commodities as well. Because the minute that you do that, you put yourself at a lower frame. I'm telling you, every single person that I've ever sold to, I've had a legitimate conversation with. You're a human being. You are a human being first. You are a salesman, educator. You're second. Okay. I know why you're struggling, right? But it's not my job to tell you why you're struggling, right? It's my job to hear from you why you're struggling, right? So I've talked to so many parents at this point, right? And I know exactly what they're going to say even before they say it, right? But it's not my job to be like, oh yeah, you're probably dealing with this, you're probably dealing with that. No, because you're number one, why are you talking for them? But also number two, right? It's like, the more like if you can really get someone to open up about their situation and you make them feel like they're safe, that you actually want to help them, then those are the people they're gonna like you way better than before.
I
Okay,
love that.
so that's the
I
biggest
love
thing,
that.
guys.
Guys, gold nuggets, we're dropping out of that galore. So whether or not you caught it here live or you catch the replay when this comes out, so much of this comes down to our conviction, our confidence, and being able to say, I'm going to put the work in to get my message out there. And so I see Justina, she's like, I want to build an online class tutoring for math. Justina, if you're teaching math, this system can work for you. Somebody else is teaching reading, this system can work for you. Science, chemistry, biology, music. If you're an educator and you are passionate about something and there's a problem out there that needs to be solved, guess what? You can go ahead and tackle this, right? Whether you're teaching English, you're teaching Spanish, you're teaching French, foreign language, computer, tech issues, whatever it is, if you are an educator, right, and you want to go ahead and work with people and help them overcome their challenges, you can do this, right? Does it work for art? AP. Again, when you look at the specific thing that you're looking at, is there a problem there that you could go ahead and market to parents, right? So as you look at that, we get offers all the time, guys. Again, music, art, whatever that may be. If we do our homework to find that specific pain point, we're going to be able to go ahead and market to it, right? Because again, it's about speaking to the problems of the parents. So I'm just really curious, Jared, as you look at your entire time here, you went through our Students on Demand Accelerator program that taught you all about marketing, sales, fulfillment, and then you've been able to go ahead and jump up to our higher level programs, talk about team building and management, man. Is there one thing that, in the course of that journey that really stood out to you to help you work through those programs? Was it the community? Was it your one-on-one coach? Was it jumping into the clinics? Because we got a lot of different support systems to help people along the way in all of our programs. Was there, one or two things that really helped you kind of accelerate forward?
That is honestly a really hard question because I feel like every single part of the teacher project has different value for different things. Okay. I can break up my two experience. I can, if I can break it up like first SOD, because maybe not
Yeah.
impact, may not be for everybody, but I feel like SOD, if you're truly passionate about building something, everyone can benefit from SOD, right? Impact is something for a little bit more of a grander scale, right? For SOD, the number one thing that really helped me was just to see that other people besides me are struggling.
Mm.
Seriously. Okay. I used to think that I was just by myself. I used to think when I first did it, it's like I'm the only person that this ever happens to, right? It's like people aren't buying from me specifically. No, the community, right? Not. I'm not saying that because the reason why I'm saying that is because you watch other people grow and you see what they do, and then you learn from that as well. That's the biggest thing for me for SOD. That was the catalyst for my first step, for my first period of growth, was just being in a community where people are like me, they want to improve like me, and they're just as hungry as me. Okay, listen, I will always go on and on. I can always go on and on about the coaches that I've met here and the people like that, right? Coaches aside, because that should be a given, right? Coaches aside, that was the number one thing that really benefited me. Now, impact. Oh my goodness. Let me just tell you guys.
Explain what
My
impact is first, and then
Okay, yeah,
go
yeah. Let me
ahead.
let me talk about impact. So SOD is more like the foundations, right, guys? For the ones of you guys don't know, it's because I've been in impact for so long now that like I feel like everyone knows it. But impact is one of those things where like you grow as a leader. That's the biggest thing. So SOD is the foundations. Impact is like leadership. Leading your team, scaling and mindset. But I really feel like even that's not like an accurate or like a very comprehensive statement because it's a little bit of everything, because for example, SOD would teach you to get the foundations down, But then if you want to be a more holistic leader in your business and a holistic leader in marketing, whatever, SOD means student on demand. That's just the name of the program. Impact is the name of the program, right? The biggest thing for impact for me was it forced me to grow. Okay. Like if whenever I think that I'm doing good and objectively sure on paper I am doing good. And then I see somebody else, like for example, Patrick Choi, who's in the same business that me, who does 3 times as much as I do, and he lives in the same city as me. I've shaken his hand. I've had dinner with this guy. So, these are real people who are so much farther ahead than you that it just adapts and forces you to grow. So that was the biggest thing for me, right? Because, before, like when I first joined Impact, right, I was barely doing 10K a month. I think my first 10K month was in June, right? But then once I joined Impact, that's when I hit boom, 15, boom, 20, 25, 30, 35, 38, right? And then last month I did 31 again, right? So it forces you to grow because you're around other people who are just so much more ahead of you in your journey. That's what I can break it up into two things.
Yeah, I love that. And guys, yeah, we have students on demand, we have impact, and really within students on demand, I'll be talking about it here in a second. But really, the first program kind of underneath that SOD umbrella is what we call our group launch accelerator program. I'll be chatting about that here in a second. But if you guys are hearing what Jared is laying out right now, you can just hear his conviction and confidence. It's like, yeah, you got to get around people that are doing the same thing. And then guess what? It's about leveling up, increasing our standards, and putting ourselves around people that are doing better than us. Because guess what? You never want to be the biggest fish in the pond. You want to go ahead and jump into the pond and all of a sudden say, oh my gosh, I'm a little guppy next to that big shark. And I'm sure jumping up into impact, like he was saying with Patrick Choi, Dalton, all these high level tutors that have just blown it out of the water. And it's like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it as well. So, Jared, thanks for laying that out. What would Natasha say? What was the major advertiser platform that you use? You want to share just kind of what we typically use here, just in
Look,
regards to advertising and the initial advertisement stream that we kind of help people with?
yeah, Facebook ads. That's still going to be the bread and butter. Right now. I'm working towards for a more omnipresent, like approach, like where you can see me everywhere. But right now, Facebook is where I make my money and make my bread. So,
I love it. I love it.
mhm.
Just being able, because we're going to open it up for a few questions here, guys, in a second. But Jared, when you think about this whole journey, man, again, going from, hey, I'm at ground zero to all of a sudden up in impact, I'm earning, 20K months, I'm hitting some records, I'm starting to build a team, man. Looking at that, what would you say is kind of the biggest maybe piece of advice that you might be able to go ahead and share with somebody if they're just trying to go ahead? Maybe they're a teacher in the classroom right now. They haven't even started yet. Like, what would be your biggest piece of advice to them?
Raw action beats anything, right? I fail more now than I did when I first started. If you see me in that impact chat, my God, you might think that I'm making nothing. You might think that I'm like I'm failing right now. But here's the thing. I think the number one thing is just, and I think I said this on Mindset Monday with you one day, and it was taking that full accountability and take everything personally, right? The people don't want to work, the people who say they don't want to work with you, that's personal, right? Is because you are your program. That you're the CEO, you're the director. So you are, everything that goes wrong is your fault. And you should take every single thing personally. Because if everything is your fault and everything is personal, that means you have the capacity to change it. If you have the capacity to change it, then you're fully in control. And, it kind of just snowballs from there. But the only way you can actually get there is if you take that raw action, right? A lot of people, will be like, "Oh, I want to start that business. Oh, I want to do this," but like they're gonna have an excuse for themselves every single time, right? It happens every single day. They're like, "Oh, I can't do it because of XYZ, because of XYZ," and they don't take accountability for anything that they do. So that's the biggest thing. If you want to get to the next level, and this is something I learned, is you got to take everything personally because then you can change it. That's the biggest thing, mindset, right? Because forget all of like the, oh, you need to do ads like this, you need to do ads like this. No, that's not going to help you in the long run. It's going to be this part right here that I'm telling you.
Mindset, mindset, mindset. If you want to go the distance, you want to go long term in your business, yeah, it's not about that little small technical thing. It's about really upping the identity, starting to say, hey, how can I get to that next level? So I love that. Got one more question for you, Jared, and then we're going to go rapid fire on a few questions here before we lay out how people can get involved if they would like to. Last question, man, I just have for you is, you know what? Over the course of the journey here, you've been able to do some crazy things, man, revenue, all of that. What has this kind of opened up for you? Kind of in your life ability. I know you made kind of a move here recently as well. What has that meant to you and what has it opened up just kind of in stuff outside of tutoring?
This changed my life. To just, a year ago from today, I'm 25. So a year ago from today, I left my job at my first sales job out of college. I was still living at home. My parents and my friends were like, dude, you got to do something with your life. I was not feeling great about myself. I recently moved to San Diego. I live my dream life here. I got tan. I lost a little weight since the since the first time I got on these interviews, right? But most importantly, I've been able to visualize a life that I actually got to live, right? Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that delusion. Remember we were talking about the beginning. It's like I had this delusion, right? Where it's like I'm gonna be in San Diego, I'm gonna be making, I'm gonna be paying myself X amount of money, on the beach. I'm gonna start, I visualized it and I actually got to live it. I not got to live, I am living it right now. So, but not just that, right? The relationships that I have with my family and my friends and my girlfriend as well, right? They just tenfold ever since I managed to make this work because
Yeah.
once you have something that's yours and once you're in control of this one thing, I'm a heavy believer that like, if you control your income, you control everything because that's kind of like the catalyst into anything else, right? Once I got this control of the business, and I'm still trying to get more control every single day, I was able to improve my relationship with my mother, my father, my sister, my girlfriend, my best friends, so and also just live in a city, live in my dream city where I've always wanted to live in for years now. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And as 25, I don't even know what else is there yet, right? But I'm sure that I keep on this trajectory, I'll figure it out eventually, and I'll still have avenues to enjoy that as
Dude, big
well.
things
So
ahead for you, man.
yeah,
I'm so proud of you, all the work you've put in, the results you've been able to achieve. And so, guys, show some love for Jared in the chat. I see we got some questions in here. Jared, we're going to go rapid fire here, man.
let's
So
do
we're
it,
going to keep
man.
it pretty tight, pretty quick here to answer as many questions as we can. And then, like I said, guys, if you guys got value out of today's conversation and you want to go ahead and hypothetically you're looking, hey, 4 months, 6 months, 12 months down the line, man, I want to go ahead and have that control, start my own business, really take control of how I teach and how I educate and make an impact in the world. Guys, I'm going to tell you about that here in 1 second. So, first question here, guys. Jared, how much did you start off paying for Facebook ads? What was that looking like monthly when you first started? Where are you at now?
I first started out about $1,100 a month, 1,100 to $1,500 a month, and right now I'm still around the same actually, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. I tightened it up a little bit, so I still get I get a return on that for that. But again, guys, it's a lot of iterations, and that's one thing about me is that I'm at that point now where I don't need to do as much much ads because I get a lot of internal stuff. What's the word when it comes to you? Inbound stuff, right? I don't have to do as much outbound, right? So
Yep.
inbound is working way more than me for me right now. So, but it will vary for you. And
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you guys can't, if you want to do ads, guys, like realistically, it's gonna cost you at least $100 a day if you want to make it work. That's just the full transparency of it. So if you don't want to spend $3,000 a month, which I didn't start off with $3,000 a month, right? I was outbound every freaking day. I was like, no shame, DMing people who I really had no business DMing, taking meetings with people who I really shouldn't be meeting. So, you either trade the time or you trade the money. And I didn't have money, so I traded my time. So yeah,
Cool. Good answer there. I just want to go ahead and add one caveat there, guys. Just so you know, as you're coming in, a lot of people have never run Facebook ads, they've never done it before. Again, do we start right then and there? Not normally, right? Again, Jared, my man, he came in and he's like, I want to get quick results. I got some cash reserves here. I want to go ahead and tackle it. When we have people come in, guys, I just want you to know, typically we're looking to say, hey, can we go ahead and put a marketing budget in place between 150, 300 bucks here for the month? We go ahead, we trial it out, we optimize the ads, we scale things up from there. Again, we don't want you guys just to be blowing money on ads and saying, hey, things don't work. We want you to go ahead and think of it as market research, market tests. And so a lot of times as people move through our accelerator programs up into impact, you will see their ad budgets scale up to the level that Jared was talking about here as well. So again, don't look at that as an end all be all. We want to go ahead and help you guys train those things moving forward. So
Yeah, just for clarity, yeah, I didn't
yeah,
just go straight to 1500, right? I built up as well, right? I'm
yep,
just saying like for what I needed to get to that level, but
yep,
my other ads, run at $500 a month, right? So
yep.
it really just
For sure.
depends on what you're at. You got to build up to it. Yeah, you don't just dive deep in.
Yeah, yeah. And we teach you guys how to do that, right? In our programs, how to
Yeah.
go ahead, optimize, find those winners, all of that. So Mario asked, Jared, can you share his point of view on, hey, if you enroll 10 students with varying degree levels of knowledge, how do you tailor your instruction to meet each student's need? I'll just go ahead and pre-frame that. Hey, guess what? If you got students coming in, you're doing marketing really, really well, Jared, you're starting to find students in different degree, levels that are the same. But for you doing SAT prep, do you have more of an evergreen model? How have you guys been running stuff? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, so I mean, everyone in my programs they need a baseline as well, right? And let's be honest with you, right? Most people, if they're reaching out for help, are probably not that advanced, right? I get a couple odd ones where like, oh, my kid's got like a 1550 one, a 1600. I don't even bother with those. I'm like, dude, just do something else. But but let me just say that the hybrid model works the best, where it's like, you have the one to many, and then you have the more like focused, individual sessions, and that's been working well for me. So like you got to make sure that the class sizes are 10, honestly 10 is not a lot of people. Okay. If it's math from four, okay, then that's outside of my scope of knowledge. Fourth to eighth grade, that's a little bit different. My students are like around the same age, like 14 to 17, right? So that from fourth to eighth is a little bit different. I personally, if I'm doing fourth to eighth grade, I would segment that because they're puberty and stuff like that, right? Per kid, is different. In eighth grade, you got people who look like me pretty much, right? And then you got fourth graders who look like they're 10 years old. So that's different.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that, Mario, because I saw that as well. Typically, you want to stay between like a two grade
Yeah.
age range, right? For a particular type of course. And then you can always, once we zero in on one particular program and we get that up and running, we can use a similar model to tack on an additional program to maybe expand into higher level grades and or lower level grades. But we wouldn't want to try to tackle everything all at the same time. Again, move the needle in one, and that's where we're going to go. All right, let me get a few more questions here, and then we'll dig into how you guys can get involved here if you guys are interested. Let's see here. How long do you typically wait to form a full group before beginning your tutoring program? For example, if only 3 students are enrolled, would you start with them or wait until more students join? I'll answer that one, Mara. You start, man, and you add students to that moving forward. You catch them up. So that's an easy one there. I know sometimes it's hard getting our brain around this, but let me tell you, focus on the marketing, focus on the sales, and we can get the fulfillment rocking for you as well. We focus on that as well. Do you have programs to help us get our operating systems on point? Beth, I'll answer that as well. Yes. We have our entire kind of base, what we call our CRM tutor boss system to help you with all of your internal stuff. We also have a full tech team to go ahead and help you with any marketing issues, tech issues, all of that. So yeah, between your coach, the community, the systems here, we got all of that covered as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would like to know how the first few weeks start in the program. I'm an English primary school teacher living in Panama. So again, just thinking about like the first few weeks of the program. Yeah, I'm assuming, Sammy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you're just talking about the program here coming into the teacher project. Jared, what's the first thing that we go ahead and help people do when they first come in, man?
Create your offer. What do you do? What is your unique learning method? What is like the 3 to 5 step method that you're unique to other people? It's not you're
Yeah,
you're not unique because you do group sessions or you do one-on-one. That doesn't make you unique. What about your method? What about your method makes you unique? And that'll be your core offer and your core marketing. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is
absolutely.
you get your ads up. Get that up as soon as you can
Love
because the
it.
more data you get, the better it is.
Love it. Guys, I know I'm going to be kind of going into a few things here, but I know a lot of people are busy and hey, if this has really resonated with you and kind of gave you a little bit of hope, a little bit of belief that you're like, hey, I can do this too. I'm just going to drop a link in the chat there. Feel free, guys, click on that link. Would love for you guys to just chat with one of our team members. We know we can help people that, again, are passionate about teaching and they want to go ahead and help solve a problem to really impact students. If that's you and you really want to go ahead and start figuring out how do I capitalize on the rest of 2025, click that link. Would love to go ahead, have the opportunity to chat with you and see if we can help. But Jared, man, I'm going to go ahead and actually kind of share a little bit here about how people can get involved. If you can hang around, man, I'd love, because I know there's other questions kind of hanging around in here moving forward. And guys, if we have any time after I kind of go ahead and walk through this, we'll answer as many other questions as we can here moving forward. So let me
Yeah,
just share my
let's do it, man.
screen here real quick. Let's see if we can get this back up. Cool. Awesome. Hopefully, you guys can see that here moving forward. And so, like I said, guys, our main program that people come in when they first join here at the Teacher Project is our Group Launch Accelerator program. All right. And really, if you're a teacher, tutor, and you're really ready and in a place where you're like, hey, I really don't want to be in the classroom anymore. I want to go ahead and replace my salary and more. Guys, this is the program where I really want you guys to understand this is the place for you. All right. So again, we got how many people we got on here? We got 49 of you guys in here asking great questions. And I don't know where all of you are, right? Everybody's situation is a little bit different, but we know because we've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tutors. And if you're feeling, exhausted, overworked, undervalued, maybe in the situation that you're in, or you just want to create a business that gives you the control of your time, your income, your future. I'm talking about financial and time freedom. All right. If that's something that you're like, I'm just locked up where I'm at, I don't want that to be my future anymore. And you're just ready to go ahead and say, hey, I'm tired of being undervalued and underpaid. I am worth way more than what I'm getting in the school system. And I know that I can go ahead and jump in and start my own tutoring business to really have that control, like Jared was saying. And finally, guys, maybe just have that desire to say, Kyle, I love that. I want to do that, but I just don't know what I don't know. I need a step-by-step roadmap, a plan to help move me from point A to point B the smoothest way possible. I'm not saying there's not going to be any road bumps, but I'm telling you, hey, how can I get there with the right support and put the right people around me? And so, if you guys are in that position, if that resonated with you, if that's where you're at, and you're just kind of feeling handcuffed, you're feeling tethered, you're feeling chained down to where you're at, and you're like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing the same thing day in, day out, you want to change, you want to start your own business, you want to go ahead and teach on your own terms, you want to go ahead and say, hey, in the online space, I can travel the world and do this at the same time. Guys, if that's you, drop a yes in the chat because I'm telling you, this program changed my life, changed Jared's life. It's changed Luke's life up in our impact program. Dude's making crazy money. Tara Taylor was able to go ahead and take a trip to Bali because she got her tutoring business up and running, helping kids learn how to read, working with 140 different kids here since the time that she joined, right? Did she start at a high level? No, she started at zero, but she took action, like Jared was saying, and she got started. All right. So, again, if that's you, I'm seeing a bunch of yeses in here. That's what I want to see. All right. Because, again, guys, when we look at this, how do we do it? Well, we got to create, we got to launch, we got to scale your online tutoring business, right? And really help you take this to the next level. Not in a matter of years, but I'm telling you, in a matter of 16 weeks, you can figure out what Jared was talking about earlier. I'm talking about learning how to market, how to sell, how to fulfill, and how to go ahead and rinse and repeat from there is what we're doing. All right. So, how do we do it? Well, guys, number one is we got to go ahead and get the market positioning dialed in. What does that mean? Well, guess what? First, we're going to be working with you guys one-on-one to craft that offer. Jared was talking about your signature tutoring offer. All right. Common mistake that we see all the time, right, is that tutors struggle to stand out. They think, oh, I'm a great teacher. I don't need to go ahead and market because everyone's going to just come to me because I'm just so good, right? Guys, that's such a big mistake. Again, you can play the referral game, but it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you got a lot, sometimes you don't. All right. And so, again, when we just rely on our expertise alone, we're failing to position ourselves as unique. We do not want you to be this, a commodity. All right. That's a race to the bottom of the barrel. All right. If Jared can do it for 20 bucks, but I can do it for 15 and somebody else can do it for 10, you do not want to be playing that game. All right. Which is why, first, guys, We want to help you create that signature tutoring offer that spells out your unique avatar, that spells out exactly what you help students with and what the bigger benefits are outside of your program that parents are going to want to say, yeah, I want to invest high ticket because Jared, Kyle, Luke, Tara, they get results. People pay for results at the end of the day. All right. So we do not want to be a commodity. We want to go ahead and have a unique positioning here within this program. All right. And so, guys, looking at this, we're going to teach you how to do this one on one because, again, every single person coming in the program is a little bit different. All right. So, again, imagine having students who value your teaching, are eager to join your programs, and are going to pay a premium rate to go ahead and learn from you. Type the word me if you want that. If you want to go ahead and position yourself as the authority figure, have a plan, and get amazing results, type the word me in there. Yeah, Karen knows what I'm talking about. Me with the please, Jared. That's where we're going, man. All right. And with this in place, guys, we're going to be able to replace that teaching salary faster because you actually have a direction. Think of it as your northern light, right? I'm going to go ahead and follow that North Star, and that's going to take me where I'm going. I'm not teaching everything, I'm teaching a niche down. All right. Once we've accomplished that, guys, we move on to step two here. All right. Step two is saying, all right, now that I know what I'm doing, how do I go ahead and get that student enrollment, that lead acquisition system going? All right. Kelly, Edward, Michael, this is that next stage, right? You fight the first battle of getting your offer. Now we're in the battle number two. All right. We're going to teach you how to consistently generate student leads, make sales using our proven student lead machine. So, what does that mean? Well, guess what, guys? One of the biggest hurdles teachers face when transitioning is realizing that they need consistent leads in order to make sales. All right. It makes perfect sense, right? I don't have anybody to talk to. I ain't going to be making no sales, right? We need opportunity coming in. And that's why the word of mouth referrals doesn't work. All right. Feast or famine is what happens. Jared, you might get 15 referrals coming in January and you get zero in February. And you might get three or four in March, but all of a sudden you get one in April. It is not predictable. It is not consistent. We don't want to rely on that. We want to have that as the cherry on top, right? If you have a proven system in place and you get referrals on top of it, you guys are going to be killing it moving forward. All right. And so, guys, this is what leads to slow growth, right? When people are just going ahead and looking at like referrals, they don't get the growth they want. They're burned out at the end of the day. And ultimately, their tutoring businesses fail because they can't keep that thing moving consistently. All right. So essentially, our automated marketing system using Facebook, Instagram ads, we really want to attract your ideal avatar, your ideal students, without you having to chase them down online all day, every day using an organic strategy. We want to do both. But again, if we can get this marketing strategy in place, you guys are going to be moving forward. So, guys, this is not something that you have to instantly know coming in the program. We're going to give you full training on this, provide you with feedback, train you up, make sure that you got the support team around you to do this like a pro, just like Jared got his marketing system in place as well. All right. So, once we get this in place, guys, it's really going to enable you to do a few different things. It's going to enable you to generate that steady flow, high quality leads, which we absolutely need in our business. It's going to confidently present your tutoring offer to parents and students, right? We want to take that signature tutoring offer, dial it into the marketing, and push that out in front of people's eyes. So they're saying, yes, that's exactly what I want. And then from there, guys, it's going to help us convert these leads into paying students that are not just charging low ticket rates, but high ticket premium prices, right? Again, you want to value your students or your services moving forward. So, again, guys, looking at this, we have to have the offer dialed in and we have to have the student acquisition system in place so that you're not just, again, hoping and praying for students to come in the door, but you have a system in place. All right? Type the word yes in the chat, guys, if you guys are tracking with me, if we're in sync right now, if this is making perfect sense. Because again, I want to make sure that you guys have this understanding in place. All right. Antonio's on board. Michael. Cool. All right, guys. So, number three, right? You complete the cycle here is that we can't just go ahead, find leads, We can't just go ahead and enroll them into our program, but we have to go ahead and help students get results as well. Why? If you don't get students results, guess what? That creates a pretty bad reputation for you, and those people tell other people, and all of a sudden, the marketing that we did does not work. So, at this point, guys, you're going to get step-by-step training on how to teach online group classes that give students incredible results while allowing you to serve more students in less time. Now, I talked a little bit just now about the incredible results and why that's important, but let me just say a few words on the group lessons. I used to do all one-on-one, all day, every day. And you know what happens? You get burnt out really, really fast, right? Type one to one in the chat if you're currently doing one-on-one tutoring right now. And I can tell you guys that it's a great model to get to a certain income level, but guess what? You cap out real quick because there's a limit on your time, right? We can't go past that. And so guess what? We have to go ahead and switch ladders. We got to understand that group is the way forward. And sometimes we have a little doubt about that. Everybody does coming in, but I'm telling you, so many other people are doing it. And that's what we want you guys to do as well. So looking at this, guys, there's no doubt students one-on-one may work, but it isn't scalable. That's the key word, scalable. All right. And so we don't want to fill your schedule with one-on-one sessions. We want you guys to go ahead, be able to teach, but spend less time doing that. So if you're in that space, which it looks like there's quite a bit of people in here, Jared, if you're doing one-on-one, your income is capped, you end up creating another job for yourself. We don't want you creating another job. We want you creating a business that you can eventually scale here moving forward. All right. And guys, just as a last minute thing here, this model allows you to work fewer hours, scale your business faster, and impact more students than you ever could with that original model. All right. So, guys, looking at this, step-by-step guidance is provided in this space. Maybe you don't know how to run groups. That's okay. That's the whole point of the community. We have so many people in here running groups that, again, if you want to look under the hood, if you want to go ahead and learn, hey, how are people working with hundreds of students? Guess what? You got people that you can go ahead and ask and figure out. And it's always about this. You're only one idea away from changing the way that you're running stuff, right? To take you to the next level. One idea is all it takes. All right. And so, guys, once you've mastered this model and you've reduced your teaching hours and you got that student acquisition system in place, all of a sudden you're going to be able to craft the life that you want. Maybe that's, I don't want to work weekends anymore. Maybe I don't want to work past a certain time. Maybe I want to generate a different level of income. Well, guess what, guys? That is all possible. All right. Type the word yes in the chat, guys. If this made sense, right? Step one, we got to get you dialed in and get your market positioning in place because we don't want you to be a commodity. We want you to be unique. We want to position you as the expert in the space. We want to go ahead and help you with student enrollment. Don't worry if you don't understand what that is or how to get it going. That's what our programs are for. We know you guys are teachers. We know you guys are educators. You're amazing at what you do. Now we just have to take a page out of our own book that we tell students and say, there's a new thing to learn. I'm going to show up with a growth mindset, with a student mindset. That's what we're going to do, right? And finally, we want to go ahead and help students get great results, but we got to do it on the right model. One-on-one will get you so far. We got to learn how to transition into a scalable model moving forward. All right. I see a lot of yeses popping in the chat. I'm glad you guys are tracking with me here. Now, a lot of you guys might be asking, like, hey, what does jumping in with the teacher project look like? What is involved? What comes along with it? And what's going to help me get to that next level? Maybe I want to earn the first 5K, first 10K, first 15K, whatever that may be. Well, guys, we have you covered pretty much across the board, like Jared was saying. All right. We want to give you the tools, we want to give you the support and the mindset shifts to make this happen. So, what does that entail? First thing, one-to-one coaching. All right. Every single person coming into our program, guys, is assigned a particular one-on-one coach that they're able to meet with over the course of their journey. Now, is meeting with your one-on-one coach everything? No, right? We know that everybody learns in different ways. There's different capacities for that. But I'm telling you, your one-on-one coach that you get assigned with, it's all about up here. They help you with the mindset shifts, the identity shifts. They help you go ahead, make sure you're staying accountable, that if you have any issues, they're able to help you right then and there. It's a great piece of the puzzle. Diane says, how many times do you meet with your coach? So, looking at that, Diane, you're going to meet with your coach about 8 times over the course of that first 16 weeks. Again, we're front loaded to try to get you all the traction that you need. But again, don't worry, you're also in messenger chats with them nonstop throughout your program to help you guys make sure that you have all your questions answered. So, from there, guys, we also are going to give you access to our exclusive curriculum. All right. So let me go ahead and just bring this up just to kind of show you guys what we're working with here in school. Because I know sometimes people are like, hey, what's going on? Well, guys, school within our community section, you can post anything that you want in here. And guess what? Ourselves as coaches, the team, peers, we're always answering questions. And then also, you're going to get access to our classroom group launch accelerator program that's going to walk you through all of the different pieces of the program, creating your tutoring offer, program and pricing, how to get your first student, launching ads, tracking and scaling ads, lead follow-up, taking sales calls. Guys, it is all right there. All right. And so you can watch those videos all the time. I always say the first time you watch anything is not the time that you master it. Okay. And so that's going to be there for you to go ahead and access that. We also have our community area, which again, I showed you here within school. So you can jump in there, answer any questions day in, day out, night or day. And we got people all over the world that are answering questions in there as well. And, I can already tell there's a question. There's a few people out there, Jared, that are saying, hey, I'm not that good with tech. What do you guys have there that's going to help me navigate some of these tech challenges? Well, guess what, guys? First off, our coaching team is absolutely exceptional of helping people navigate those things. All right. So tech sessions with your coach are there, as well as tech sessions with our team are available as well. And you can book those in when you need to get access to that, help you work through any problem there. And then, guys, if we look at just a few other things that come along with this program, weekly coaching calls. We call them clinics here within our program, but maybe you need to jump into the ad clinic with Ali. He's our marketing expert. You need help analyzing your ads, analyzing your data, figuring out what changes you need to make to optimize. Guess what? You jump into those. Or maybe you're having trouble getting people into book calls, or you're having trouble closing sales, consultation calls. Guess what? You jump in with Rob or any of our other coaches in our sales clinics. That's going to be a great place for you as well. We have mindset calls. We have community and connection calls. If you're just looking to go ahead and meet people and dive in and get connected with your peers, we have it all, guys. And so many things are there. And then, not to go ahead and overload you, but again, I'm just going to show you over here. We also have office hours. So you can see here that there are times every single day of the week to fit your timetable. And we always say office hours are with our coaches. It's all for questions, right? You just want to hang out. You want to be a fly on the wall. Office hours are where it's at as well. So just so many different opportunities, guys, to seek out support is going to be key. And finally, looking at, hey, what else is involved, guys? Our all-in-one software, we call it Tutor Boss. It's basically your central hub to go ahead and get situated with all of your leads coming in. It helps you with messaging all of your leads. It helps you with booking clients into your calendar, payment processing, you name it, it does it. It's going to be a great place for you guys to go ahead and jump in. And so, guys, looking at all this means you have an entire support system around you. I don't want to hear any excuses that you do not have exactly what you need here moving forward, because again, as Jared said earlier, this is all about taking action, putting yourself in a position to win at the end of the day. If you want to go ahead and take your business long term, I'm telling you, this is the place to do it. All right. So again, guys, if you're looking for not just any team, but you're looking for a team of educators, people that have done it before you, right? All of our coaches run their own businesses and they have done this exact same program themselves before coming coaches. If you want to jump in with people like that so that you're never alone on the journey and you're like, hey, I don't want to go to the top of the mountain by myself. I want a guide. I want a coach. I want a shepherd, and not just one person, but an entire team. Guys, this is where it's at. The teacher project is where it is at. All right. And so if this is resonating with you guys, if this is like, oh my God, I've been looking for something to help me get out of the spot that I'm in, I'm just right here to tell you, this is it. All right. And if you guys are looking to say, hey, how do I get started? How do I go ahead and take that first step. Because I'm a firm believer, guys, that facts are your friends. Sometimes dealing with the unknown is the scariest part. We make up all these ideas in our head about what it's going to take and what it's going to cost and all the things. Instead of just taking the step to get information and get facts, I'm telling you, go ahead. I'm going to drop this link in the chat here. Go ahead, everyone. Feel free, guys. Click that link, book in with one of our team members, have an initial conversation. All right. Because again, I can tell you this program has changed my life. It's changed Jared's life. It's changed so many students' lives. And guess what? It allows us to have a greater impact in the world. So, super easy, guys. Fill out the quick application. I dropped the link down below. And again, our team is going to walk you through the details and create a personal plan for you, right? If you have 0 students right now, that's okay. We'll create a personal plan for you. Maybe you got 10 to 15 students you're working with one-on-one. Fantastic. We're going to create a plan for you. Maybe you got a tutoring business already and you got people working for you. That's okay. Let's create a personal plan moving forward. All right. And they'll help you go ahead, get enrolled, and start building that business moving forward. I just want you guys to think. If you think a year into the future, right? 12 months into the future, looking back and saying, oh my God, I'm so glad that I joined because my life is radically different than when I sat on this initial call because A, I believed that it was possible, and B, that I could go ahead and take action and be surrounded by a team that's going to support me moving forward. Guys, click that link down below. Speak with one of our team members. We would love to go ahead and see if we can help you guys moving forward. It's all at the end of the day, guys. No harm, no risk. But again, this is all about helping you break free from the classroom grind and really live on your own terms. Teach on your own terms, right? That's exactly what we want moving forward. So, guys, if you're going to do that, go ahead, type the word me in the chat below. I would love to know how many people we got coming in to the program here right now. And again, I'm going to open this up for some questions here right now, guys. If there's anything that you guys have questions about, Jared and I can go ahead and walk through this as well before we go ahead and jump off. Let's see here. Jared, you got access to the chat as well?
I do.
Can you go ahead? I think we got Natisha. She says, please tell me, and the stages at which we need to pay. So looking at that, Natisha, again, our team is always looking for ways to go ahead and help people get started here in the program, right? Some people can go ahead and make the investment to go ahead and get started right away. Other people might need to go ahead, maybe put together a payment plan or something like that. We're always working with people because we know that, hey, it's all about getting momentum, all about taking action and pushing forward. And so, yeah, guys, feel free, drop in any other questions that you got. Let's see here. I got a call scheduled this Friday already. Michael Hurd's on the board. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Michael, fantastic job, man. Going ahead and just taking the reins and saying, yeah, I'm going. I'm going to figure this thing out. Karen is on board. She's resonating. Karen, you going to book a call down below? Let us know. Beth says, me, if I can teach individual lessons. I want everybody to know, hey, if you want to do one-on-one, there is no problem doing that. Again, you're going to have a cap, but again, all the marketing stuff, Beth, is going to play into your best interest here moving forward. And so, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do is help you guys get the marketing moving forward. Mario, how is the tutorial session structured? Do you focus on a specific topic each time, or do you primarily address student questions and help them with homework? Jared, do you think you can field that one?
Guys, you guys are, I'm gonna be real with you. You guys are educators. What the teacher project does helps you build a foundation for marketing, sales, right? Client delivery. But ultimately, guys, you guys are not robots. You guys can, that's something you got to figure out. They can give you, like I asked my coaches, right, what they think I should do, suggestions. But your program the best because you're the mom or the dad of it, right? So, that's the whole point of creating a business is so that you have that freedom. So you have that, I know the freedom can be a little overwhelming right now, but that's just something you got to figure out. You have your vision. I know you have your vision because I had, before I started this, I knew what I wanted to see in my sessions. So don't let the fear of the unknown prevent you guys from getting you the results that you want. Okay, I tell that to my students as well. Like a lot of students are like, oh, I don't know what the heck it's going to look like. I'm scared to take that first step. No, take the first step, guys. Look back later. Okay. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is like you are in the exact same position as you were last year,
Yep.
right? But yeah, so in terms of like structure of like what should your sessions look like, guys, you have that vision. You need to make sure that vision becomes a reality. Remember how I said in the beginning, you got to have that vision that you visually can see, right? So if you don't have that, then you should really think on that, seriously. But yeah,
Absolutely.
that's all I got to say for that. That's pretty much it in terms
I
of that.
love that. Let's see here. We got a few other questions in here. Mush do Jared, thanks for the valuable info. How would you advise someone starting an SAT tutor in the teacher project? Would you tell them to connect with other people? Jared, just kind of walk the process, trust it, and kind of walk it exactly how it is. Any advice there?
She's asking how would I start as an SAT tutor? Don't don't listen to all the noise. I'm not even friends with SAT tutors on Facebook anymore. I'm with the one or two because I have good rapport with them. But like if I get a SAT tutor sending me sending me a friend request, I just delete. Nothing personal. I
Yeah.
don't know them, right? So yes, it's good to like learn from other people, but also just don't be like, oh, Patrick's doing this with his program. I should do that too. Or
Yep.
Dalton, Allen are doing this with their program. I should do that too. That's the worst thing you want to do. Again, you have your own vision. You're not a robot.
Yep.
You can do it.
I
So
love
yeah.
that. I love that, man. Great feedback there. And guys, there might be other questions out there. Like one of them comes to mind, like, hey, can you help with my niche? And I saw a bunch of people dropping in different things like, hey, I'm a violin teacher from Beth. I do math, I do reading, I do chemistry. Guys, this program can help you in regardless of what niche you're in. Again, it really comes down to your tenacity and your willingness to say, hey, can I market because I have the passion and there has to be the problem, right? Can I craft that problem to be able to go ahead and work through? And so, again, Beth, if you're saying, hey, I want to do violin lessons, we've had people do different music offers. There's one of our clients, he teaches drums for basically churches. Right. And so he works with all of these young kids that want to go ahead and play drums in their worship bands. And he's done great. He's signed up like 15 or 20 people so far. So it really comes down to your willingness to do it. Another question that pops up all the time, guys, that just popped into my head, you guys might be asking yourself right now, is should I get started now or should I wait till the fall? Like, again, it's just summer. Nobody wants tutoring in the summer. That's my belief, right? I am telling you, you want to go ahead and lay the bricks before September comes around because September, that's a big time for tutoring, right? Students are just coming in, they're starting to get their feet wet, they're struggling. And guess what? I would say now is your time to get in, start learning about marketing, learning about sales over the summer so that when the fall comes, you are prepared, you are ready, you're able to capitalize on that moment instead of jumping in September and then all of a sudden we miss the wave, right? And so, guys, tutoring is an all year event here moving forward. Parents want to make sure that their kids are ready to rock and roll. So awesome, guys. Hopefully, this provided you guys with some value. I know, Jared, I just want to thank you. And guys, let's show Jared some love in the chat because he carved out time today. I know we went a little bit over here moving forward, but show him some love. I see you guys dropping it in there as well. Jared, any last minute, piece of advice you want to go ahead and share with these guys? We still got about 29 people on here right now. But yeah, just really, really pumped, man. You got a mic drop moment for us? Anything you want them to know before we jump off?
Yeah, there's going to be some of you guys that are going to sit here later on this year and wondering why you didn't make that first move. But let me tell you guys, if I had sat on my hands a year ago in February 2024 and I didn't take that first step, I wouldn't know where I would be today. Okay. Because again, guys, forget about the money, forget about the investment. Okay. Do you want to continue? Like the whole reason why you guys are on this webinar is because you want to make a change in your life, right? So do you guys want to continue living the same way that you're doing it right now, or do you want to take a chance on yourself? Because if you're not going to take that chance on yourself, guys, no one's going to take that chance for you, right? Not your mom, not your dad, not your wife, husband, kids, whatever, right? You got to do it, all right? So that's all I got to say with that, guys. Do you just how much do you really want it? If you really want it, this is a great place for you. But if you're like, oh, I don't know if I like if you're too scared to even take the first step, then that should tell you what you need to know. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, guys, that's all I gotta say. I wish every
love it.
single one of you guys the best.
Love it. Guys, I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. Jared, thank you so much, man, for going ahead and just sharing your experience, everything that you've gained out of the last 15 months, man. I'm so incredibly proud of you. This team is so incredibly proud of you. The whole people watching, incredibly proud of you, man. And I just can't wait to see where you take this thing. Because again, we did this 12 months ago. Here we are in 2025. I can't wait to see where you are, the team that you can build, man, in 2026. So, like I said, guys, click that link down below. I'm going to post it one more time. If you guys want to go ahead, jump in on this game, see what you can build here in 2025. I believe in every single one of you guys. I personally just have that insight to know that every single one of you has a gift inside you that wants to come out, right? You guys are all amazing teachers. You guys are incredible educators. And now it's time to put the student hat back on. Say it's time to expand. I want to be a marketer. I want to learn about sales. I want to go ahead and be a leader. I want to be a visionary for my program. Eventually, I'm going to bring people on underneath me. We're going to have amazing teams and we're going to help kids at the next level. All right. If that's you guys, click that link. We would love to speak with you. And again, be on the lookout for more sessions like this. We got a lot of other clients that have great advice, great tips that we want to bring to you so that you guys can continue to learn and be inspired and have that hope of what you guys can build as well. All right. Till then, guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you later.